there are two applications. Last night I was talking to Madi. I think we had this chat even in Heroes. So we always look at, especially in the IT world, two applications that are really delicate: health application and banking application. With those two applications, because health, you are dealing with people's life. Banking, you are dealing with people's money. So most of these two applications, they always come with a lot of regulations and compliance. Now, let's look at the processor. When you are building a banking processor, there is a lot of regulations and compliance. And all this compliance must be coded. For instance, they always ask yourself, what if this happened? What do we do? So all of this information must be coded. Now, there's a question, if we are looking at it, you ask yourself, what if, because I've seen a scenario where certain amount of money hits an account. Sometimes they will send you an alert that this money is there. Are you sure this money is legit? You say, yeah, it's good. Some bank would even block the account before you notice. It's not the bank blocking, it's the information, because they've already tell the processor, when it gets to this level, shut it down or flag it. So the processor now will flag it, and the bank, those who are working on, they can see the flag coming and say, okay, what is happening with this account? Oh my goodness, this X amount of money is here. And it takes time. When it flags, it takes time for the system to adjust, because they have to go through all the process to investigate. The investigation and stuff is the delay. Now, Mr. Ash looked at all of these things, said, you know what? Processor has been built by this. Remember, we are using third-party processor, because, again, OnPassive is coming with their own processor, with the banking processor, which will be 100 times better and robust, because they know the volume that is coming. Now, Ash told us last meeting, he said, you know what? If they tell us to do something, to follow the rules that the company is giving, we will never listen. And it's true. That's human being. We will never listen. Some people will listen. Some will say, no, I will just go and hammer that side. OnPassive say, you know what? We will put a check in front the processor. And that's what Mr. Ash told us. Put a check and stop it before it hit the processor. Because the truth is, if the processor, we push a lot of information, that's money, front and back, coming and going in and out, what will happen? The processor will shut down. And some processor, if they shut down, it can take 2 months, 3 months to build it back again, or you just abandon it and then start to look for different mechanism. Mr. A said, no, we don't want it to happen. We've gone through that process again. We don't want to go through that process. Let us regulate it. Now they told us about, please, once a day, let us be considerate in the way nobody will be left behind. People stay, push it again. But thank God, the processor is working, but now OnPassive said, no, we'll have to put a break, deal with the volume, open it up slowly, deal with the volume, open it so slowly, shut it down, deal with the volume. So it is not shut down. It's just because OnPassive now have decided to take everything and said, you know what, we will not allow it to the founders or the customer. We will regulate it, make sure we manage it, and then build it slowly. So nothing is broken, everything is working, but it's just that you need to follow instruction. Because I've heard there are people who go in, they paid, they tried again, after 30 minutes, they couldn't. It's because it's just putting that break, that buffer for the system to adjust, build, process the huge volume, and then open up again slowly. But I believe with time, it will get better. So it is nothing is broken. It's just managing the processor so the processor will not crash. Because imagine we are 1.4 million and a lot of people has multiple accounts. They want to pay everything because they are afraid that they'll be left behind. Nobody will be left behind, but let us just be, just be vigilant and try to be considerate and said, no, this is our business. We don't want to make the processor to fail. And thank God, Mr. Ashford will not allow it. They've just put it. So OnPassive now is managing everything from their end before it moves to the processor slowly. And that's the only thing out there. But the technicality is the code behind to flag any unusual processor. And we remember, OnPassive It's new in the market. They'll say, which company is this coming with this volume of transaction, which is just crazy? As Maddie said, when Apple came, some people argue that Apple came, it was, no, they started slowly and the money was one way. When you buy Apple phone, what happened? It goes to Apple. To push money into an organization is different, but when money is going through and fro, it's crazy because millions is going in, tens of millions coming out. They'll say, my goodness, the money is not even holding in the holding place. Immediately, Mr. Ashmufara is paying out, the company is paying out, which is unusual for any business. So the processor would like, no, I've not seen this. Every time flag, 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 you know, because it wasn't designed to do all of these things. But when Mr. Ash, the company like OnPassive will build, what will happen? They already know the system. They know the money is just coming and then bouncing back. They will build it according to the way OnPassive mechanism works. You know, and that's what I want to throw out there, that we just have to be careful and just follow instruction as the corporate is telling up, because they are the ones saying it, but I'm talking from outside, like what I know, how processor and things like this work, especially when it comes to banking application and health application.